Good win, really good win. Odo, kind of a similar outing to what he was last time against New York. The long ball, that was all they got from him, but he was still, very effective. The pitch count kind of got driven up there in the mid innings a little bit because of the foul balls. I mean, he had some really good at bats from Beltran, from Bird, who ultimately hit the home run, but he had a good fastball tonight, and I think it showed up just the way he was driving the ball downhill. Looked like he was locating it, and when he, there were a couple of bats where he got up, but a lot was with intent to go up. So, big night for him. Nick Franklin, that was a huge hit. I think we're all excited for him. It was great for us, great for him, simply because he's struggled, no secret. But for him to come up and play a huge part in the game was nice. And then the bullpen, column continues to get big outs for us. Brandon Gomes, first career save. That was awesome. And then who else we got in there? Any. What an experience for him to come in there in that situation. Against those lefties, he walks the leadoff guy. But going forward, we need him to get some big outs, and you're only going to get better and learn in those situations.
Bottom of your order performed pretty well offensively, defensively, really both.
Mm-hmm. Mikey Matuk continues to have good at bats, square up a lot of balls, just playing the game with a lot of comfort right now. And JP Arancibia, continues to get big hits with guys on base. KK does this thing in the outfield, play of the day probably with Gardner there off Eddie Romero off the bat. I just you get used to it and get spoiled by it, but you still, as soon as it goes off the bat, you're thinking double, and then he comes out of nowhere.
Souza didn't start the game, but at some point when you look at that outfield, you see Matuk, Kiermaier, Souza. That's a pretty exciting outfield athletically.
Yeah, they're very athletic. I think you can add Geyer in there to that mix. He's very athletic, but I mean, you're talking about a group of guys that can cover a lot of ground and throw the ball well. They do a lot of things and really help our pitchers out.
What happened at Cabrera, and what led to Nick being the guy to go in?
Cabby was, we think that he's got just a strain, right knee strain, so we're not left knee strain. Probably more day to day. We'll have more information on it tomorrow. And then as far as Nick Franklin going in, we gotta see these guys play. They're here. It was an opportunity. It presented itself for them, and we wanted to get them in there.
Do you know how Cabby heard it?
I think just on the swing, coming out of the box, right when he rotated and coming out of the box.
You talked about Kiermaier's defense. Longoria is one of those guys that we're spoiled by him too. He makes the plays that other guys don't make, yeah. And he makes them look easy.
Yeah, he does. And you don't ever lose appreciation for guys making it look easy, because it's very difficult. The hops that come his way, and generally balls are hit pretty hard down at that side of the field, and he gobbles them up. And then even on the fly balls, he makes them all look easy. He went a long way today on that fly ball and just made like an effortless play.
Was Gomes going to be your guy for the ninth going into the game, or is that just how it evolved?
No, that's kind of how it evolved. We knew Boxy was down, and that's just kind of how we got there. Colomé pitched right to the thick part of that lineup and got big outs for us the inning before.
Franklin was in the mix at the end of spring training before getting hurt.
Yep.
Do you expect going forward, looking at him next spring, to be back in the mix again?
Without a doubt, yeah, he has to be. He went down to AAA. He worked on a lot of things: his defense, his offense. Got consistent playing time. It's not going to be the easiest thing to get consistent playing time right now towards the end of the year, but we still have very much high hopes for Nick Franklin to be in the mix and compete and help us win next year.
I know it's been talked about a lot because he's been performing so well at the plate a lot lately, but what a luxury it is to have JP at the bottom of the order from the catcher position producing the offense that he's producing.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's done a tremendous job with our pitchers and calling games. He's very receptive to Hicks' messages in between innings, but offensively, he's gotten a lot of big hits, and the power shows up. And then today, he found a hole, kind of a placement hit that allowed us to separate the game. That ultimately looked like we would have needed, because it would have been a little hairier there, second and third in a 4-3 ball game.
And Todd talked to you pregame about how Logan's just kind of like this and tends to be invisible some ways, but there he is with another couple knocks and an RBI.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise there. He's done it all year long, so nothing new on that end of it.